So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your gracious co-host, Jay Stokes. I'm waiting for Jay Random to call in right now. He's the other co-host of this podcast right here. This is AVIOT. It stands for Atypical Voices in Our Time. It is the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. That's spelled K3MISTRY. So today's going to be a pretty interesting show. Once Jay Random calls in, we're going to get everything going, and we're going to deal with some very controversial topics as of now. The title of today's episode is called Power, Pride, and Punishment. Here we're talking about power, how ultimate power corrupts. We're talking about pride, how pride can make people do foolish things, and punishment, what should be done when people cross the line. So that's Jay Random. He just buzzed in right now. Jay Random, how are you, my friend?
Yo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
How's
You sound
everybody?
like you just woke up.
Nah, man, I'm sick. Just, just trying to get over this cold I have.
You still sick?
What's going on, man? Yeah. Wait a minute. You think today's only Wednesday, right? You do know colds last longer than the day, right?
Yeah,
right,
I know,
Superman?
but when you told me you were sick, but when you told me you were sick, I was like, just take some cough drops or something, you'd be straight, you'd be good to go.
No, man. You know what? Really, the problem with me being sick is at night. That night air is something else. It really bothers me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get stuffier in my throat. Now I have the cough. So I'm trying not to cough while I'm on the mic.
Well, don't be.
Sorry about
that.
that.
Please don't be sniffling and wheezing and coughing and sneezing. Please don't. We don't need to hear that.
Not to.
So, actually, I wanted to start this show off right away because we have a lot of interesting topics to talk about that are very important. And the first thing I wanted to start off with is this election in Florida and Georgia. So we have Miss Stacey Abrams and Mr. Andrew Gillum. Stacey Abrams is campaigning to become the governor of Georgia, and I believe Andrew Gillum is trying to be what? He's trying to be in the Senate? No, he's trying to be the governor of Florida.
No, he's trying to be a governor of Florida.
Right. And so it was found out that the GOP, or the Republican Party, has been tampering with some of the votes in both Georgia and Florida, I believe. And because of this tampering, Andrew Gillum, who originally conceded in the race to his conservative or Republican counterpart, he decided to come back into the race. And Stacey Abrams, who was also Democrat like Andrew Gillum, did not concede at all. She kept going. And I think you were saying it last week or something like that. The GOP candidate for the Georgia governor, Brian Kemp, he actually resigned as Georgia's Secretary of State because he was overseeing the vote. And you were like, how can that happen? Speak more to that,
exactly.
Jay Random. What do you think?
Excuse me. So basically, it's kind of crazy because I'm glad I guess he had to do that, because if he didn't do that, then, I feel like all eyes would be on him, and it would be a conflict of interest. How can you oversee the recount when you are part of the party that's being recounted on? So
right.
So personally, that was a smart move for him. And at the end of the day, I mean, he just removed himself, so that's nothing. Now we got to see what's going on with that. Excuse me. Last time I seen him, I think yesterday, he was at 51%, and she was at 48.8. So I don't know if they started recounting, right? I think I overheard you saying that, or because
they did.
No, they couldn't have started.
Civil rights groups sued in October. Because after an Associated Press investigation found that, I'm reading like straight off the news right now, the Associated Press investigation found that Kemp's office had placed 53,000 voter registration applicants in limbo, and 70% of these applicants were African American. So we have a very strong feeling that they were going to vote for Miss Stacey Abrams. This is in Georgia. We had a very strong feeling that they were going to vote for Miss Stacey Abrams because she's a black candidate. So that's a really big issue right there.
I agree. I definitely agree. And kind of shady, if you ask me. So
It is
we'll see.
shady.
Because yeah, it's definitely shady, and it's also shady in Florida. Because I find it hard to believe that basically now the votes went from, I think they're neck and neck. Yes, as of yesterday, we were like 49 point. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I was actually about to log back in. Stupid thing so loud.
Oh, Lord.
So as of yesterday, I think it was 49.6 to 49.2. So that's pretty close.
Okay. Well, we'll see what the results are. I know I put in the description of – oh, your headphones are kind of close to the mic. I can hear my voice. But I know I know I put in the description of the show today that we're going to present some solutions to these issues that are happening. So in the case of this election fiasco, what do you think exactly we should do to prevent these things from happening in the future?
That's a good question.
I knew I stumped you.
You know what?
I knew I stumped you.
No.
I knew it.
No. And besides you stumping me, I'm going back. Press the random button. Real quick.
Press the random button?
So,
all right.
Random.
So I'm laughing because as you're talking, I'm going through the motions trying to get my mic working. I'm banging on the mic. I'm turning the volumes up. Nothing's working.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I get on exactly what we said. So Jay Random, I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. My mic is working now. What'd you say? So I was definitely fooling with the mic. So just give me like a quick synopsis of
Jay
what you
Random
said.
is back. Jay Random is definitely back. Oh, my God. He's definitely back.
So what was the question again?
I said that part of what I wrote for the description of the show is that we're going to be coming up with solutions for these issues that we're talking about. So I wanted to know, what is a solution that you would have for this electoral process and how it could be fixed so that we don't have any more voter suppression or any more suspect elections?
It's kind of tough because if we make everything digital, then digital can be hacked. So we can't make everything digital, I feel.
Very true.
And so I think we can't make it digital. I guess what we need to do is hire more people. I think that's it. Just hire more people for the states and the towns and the cities that have the problems, that have the most problems. So in 2020, we have to make sure that we have a lot of people in Dade County, and what's the other one? In Florida, I forgot the other one, but I know it's
Florida.
I think it's Dade. Yeah. Well, one of the two places that's actually re-voting.
Boynton Beach, Florida. I don't know.
Okay, Boynton Beach, Florida, and Dade County. I think Dade County, right? Or is it?
I don't know. I'm reading straight up from the
Okay, cool.
From the website right now.
Cool. Well, okay. So basically, I feel like the places that they're having problems with, and make sure in 2020 that you have enough employees, because now that we are paying attention, like we always have, but it's evident that the places that are having a hard time, they can't go electronic, I believe, because it can't be hacked. So I think they just need to hire more workers, basically, more people that can actually count the ballots. I seen though in Florida, the machine broke down already. So the machine that they had that was recounting the ballots broke down last night. So it's just like, come on, guys, back up. You need backup systems. Listen, the election night is over. Bring every machine that you can to this one place and let's get it. Seriously, let's get it going. Let's finish this.
Situations like this is what stops a lot of black people from voting in the first place, because this is kind of mirroring what used to happen when blacks were trying to get the right to vote during the civil rights movement back in the 60s and the 70s and what have you. I think, right? 50s, 60s, 70s, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Because it's like
correct.
they had to go through hoops in order to get their vote counted, and it's like it's happening again, but it's in a different form. So I think at that point, a lot of people get discouraged, and they're like, why even vote? Because I'm going to have to go through the same thing again.
Okay. And I say for those who have a problem with, face that scenario that you said,
yeah,
keep in mind what we're voting for our local districts, right? Our local districts. So basically, what you're voting for is for the potholes in your town, the garbage removal, the taxes, stuff like that can affect you. So keep in mind,
with
if
the
you
governor?
vote or don't. Oh, definitely with the governor, the mayor. I mean, at the end of the day, the governor, like Governor Malloy, he actually, leave it to the Republicans. He's doing a bad job with the taxes, and that's why our businesses are leaving because he's not giving tax breaks. So yeah, definitely with governors and mayors.
You and Malloy.
No, that's Gannon. That's Bridgeport Mayor Gannon. That's one I have
you
a
and
problem
Gannon.
with.
Okay, well, I'm on
me and Gannon.
You be bringing up Malloy and Gannon all the time, man.
Well, yeah, so I feel like for those who actually have a problem and feel frustrated, just keep in mind your vote does count, and your vote really counts in the in your local elections, because these are the people that affect you the most. So, I hate to say suck it up, but hey, listen, if you could, for those of you that could be waiting in line for the new iPhones, waiting in line on Black Friday for TV, waiting in line
he really
for,
brought it there. Oh, wow.
No, I'm keeping it real.
He took it there.
Let's be honest. For those who are waiting in line for Jordans and the new XYZ, hey, listen, it's voting, man. This is more important than the stuff I said that you're waiting in line for already. So just suck it up, man. Because believe me, it's bigger than you. No, seriously, it's bigger than you. So just keep that in mind. Listen, I have yet to be frustrated, but if I ever had the feeling of being frustrated, I would just think about my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work, then I'll think about the time that I waited in line for the new iPhone and waited in line on Black Friday. Never for sneakers, but for Black Friday and iPhone. So if I could do that with no problems, I could definitely wait in line and vote for my party. So that's what I say to anyone who actually feel frustrated. Hey, listen, did you ever think this is probably what they want us to feel? They want us to feel frustrated so we won't go. Don't forget, if we don't go, they win. And if they win, then we can't complain. So, it's a trickle effect. For every action, there's a reaction. If you do not go and vote, then you cannot complain when things are not looking right in your town. Because you got to understand, the wrong people in power can change rules before you know it. You won't even see them coming.
That's very true.
So
that's very true.
That's why I say, listen, just vote. Just get it over with. And believe me, it's really worth your while. So that's how I feel.
Speaking
that feels that way.
Speaking of the wrong people being in power, I want to direct your attention at a recent shooting that happened in Illinois. I think they're saying Chicago in some places. Another place I'm reading, Midlothian, Illinois. It was a fight that broke out at a bar, and a security guard who was a black male, he did his job because the bar fight involved somebody shooting a gun, so he did his job, and he apprehended the person that was doing the shooting, and he held him down, and I think he had a gun on him, and he waited for police to come and respond to the incident. And when the cops came, they killed him because they felt that he was in the wrong. Like, they didn't ask any questions. They just came and shot the guy because they thought he was actually the person that was doing the wrong. And they shot and killed him, and the people that were there were saying, no, this is the security guard. He's doing his duty. And
Can I ask you a
just
question?
seems you got to attack this on. Yeah, what's up? What's up?
The person that was on the ground with the gun to his head, what color was he?
Oh, I don't know actually. It said, okay, so the male that passed away, his name is Jamel Robertson. I want to say his name and give him a shout out. Jamel Robertson. He's the black male that passed away. May he rest in peace, and your spirit will always be with us, and we will always remember you. But the person who he was apprehending, it doesn't say. I'm reading right now. It doesn't say the race the guy was.
Well,
but people are saying
we have to have a follow up.
Lives. Yeah.
Why I got that follow up? Because I would not be surprised. I hate to use race, but I would not be surprised if it was a white person. And this is why I say that. I say that because if it was a black on black, you really think a cop would shoot another black cop? I mean, another black person if he has a gun to the head of another person. So
I don't think so. No.
I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I apologize. But I only apologize for this incident, not any other incident, because it is time and time again that when we have a gun in our hand, meaning we tell the cops that you have license, that you have a gun in your glove department, you get shot. But then you turn around and you see stories when some old white guy shot a few cops and he gets arrested.
Right.
So for any of those who are listening, the number is 646-668-8398. My question to the listeners and to whoever is listening, my question to you, and hopefully you can answer this question by calling us. You can even email us. Why is it any different when a black person has a gun in their hand? Why can't we go home? Why can't we get arrested and go to jail and then figure out what the situation is? Why do we always have to be the ones to die? That's the question I asked.
That's very true. And so for those of you, our email to contact us at is chemistryproductions@gmail.com. That's K3MISTRY productions@gmail.com. Or we also upload every one of our podcast videos to our YouTube channel, so you can comment under the video. So this is episode 20, Power, Pride, and Punishment. And that's going to be uploaded to our Chemistry Productions YouTube channel, so you can also comment on there. To answer your question personally, I actually so for those, I'll just put it out there. I have my doctorate in health education, and when I was doing my dissertation, I was actually studying why people react certain ways to black individuals and black males, and I saw when reading that black men in particular are always seen as being bigger in size than they actually are. So they're seen as being like these big monsters, these like mammoth type creatures, when in fact I could be shorter than the cop and the cop could look at me as a huge threat. And that's perpetuated by slavery largely. That's perpetuated by media imagery. Like in King Kong, the movie King Kong, that was actually a play on the whole black stereotype of the big black man coming after a white woman. Because if you see in King Kong, it's this big gorilla ape, and the earlier versions of King Kong looked like, well, they're trying to make it look more black with the big lips and the nose and everything like that. And if you look at the climax of King Kong, he has the white woman in his hand, and he's on a tower, and that's supposed to be like a phallic symbol of like the black man's manhood, and he's such this big brute creature, and the white authorities take him down, and he ends up dying and falling from the building. So I say all that to say that there is this big stereotype of black men and even black women being these big brute creatures. And with that being said, I want to dive into, speaking of black women, I want to dive into this recent controversy that happened with Serena Williams, where she was featured on GQ magazine in their Men of the Year issue, And what happened was they crossed out Men of the Year and they put Woman of the Year. But a lot of people are upset because the word woman was in quotes. And I wanted to get your take on that, Jay Random.
You know, to be honest with you, it's my first time hearing about that. So thank you for that.
Really?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Because, normally I keep up with stuff. But, no, first time hearing about this. And you said Sports Illustrated did this?
No. GQ, the men's magazine, GQ. So to provide more context, actually, I posted a message on Chemistry Productions talking about I was going to make up for the domestic violence post that I was supposed to do in October. And I was supposed to make a post yesterday, but this story came up and I ended up changing the story that I originally wrote. So I'm still writing the story right now. It's about 70, 75% done, and I'll be posting it today. But I mentioned domestic violence within the piece that I'm writing for Serena Williams. So within the Serena Williams piece and the story in general, what happened was GQ magazine, every year they release its Men of the Year issue, and they have different covers with different men that they're honoring during the years. As of 2003, they started honoring certain women in either every year or every other year or in certain years. So they also have Woman of the Year. Like last year, Gal Gadot, however you pronounce it, who played Wonder Woman, she was recognized as the Wonder Woman of the Year, and that's how they displayed it, just Wonder Woman of the Year. But in this one, what they did was they took Men of the Year and they had like somebody's handwriting and it crossed out men on the cover and it put woman, but it was in quotes and it said Woman of the Year. So people were upset with the woman being in quotes. So I'm gonna give you everything before I let you speak real quick, Jay Random. So people were upset that woman was in quotes because Serena Williams has oftentimes been called a man or too masculine, or some people said she was a transgender person, transsexual, and they felt that GQ was trying to be slick with the quotes and they were trying to play her. But then other people, I think some reps from GQ reportedly stated that the guy that designed Serena Williams' Nike gear, Virgil Abloh, I believe, he actually works with Louis Vuitton. He started his own thing called Off-White. He actually is known. He's actually the handwriting that they used to cross out men and put woman in quotes. And he's known for putting, I guess, his sayings or his statements in quotes. Like he's known for putting quotes around his statements. I've tried to do some digging into that. I don't know him too much, but I didn't really see that. But that's what is being claimed. But people are still saying that why, knowing Serena's history and how she's been scrutinized and criticized over the years, why would anybody greenlight that? Even if that's his style, why would you greenlight putting woman in quotes? And now, take the floor, Jay Random.
Well, shock value. I think this is why they did it. I think they did it for shock value. If you recall the day that Serena, shock value, to get us talking. Think about it. When that cartoonist drew Serena or image of Serena as a primate stomping up and down when she quote unquote had a meltdown, which we all know that wasn't a meltdown, in her tennis match, and he did it all for shock value. I think this is shock value. I would like to know how Serena Williams feel about this. She hasn't
come out and said anything yet. She hasn't said anything yet.
Yeah, so I just, because I think it's all about shock value. You're right. Why quote something that we always, or she always has to, or she dealt with for all her life as a tennis player, at least, being questioned, being tested the most out of all the women, always testing her for drugs because she can't be that great. So they said. So
for a black woman, she can't be that great. And you gotta put that in context, because I always say it's funny how they were always praising Maria Sharapova once upon a time, even though she's not American. They were always praising Maria Sharapova in America. She's a blonde-haired, thin white woman, and she was winning matches But then it was found out that she was actually the one using drugs. So you testing Serena all these years, but the one you're praising was the one that was actually using drugs. How ironic is that?
Exactly. So that's why I say that's why I say look, I say the GQ did all this for shock value and just to get people talking. And we're talking.
Yeah.
Um,
Never thought about that. But in my write-up of the article, I say even if Serena is okay with this, I think it's a larger issue than people think. Because for black women specifically, black women have always been criticized for their curvy figures, and they've always been looked at weird for being very strong-minded, strong, opinionated, and I don't think that's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just, hey, that's just the culture. That's the culture. And with all the criticism that happens towards Serena, that kind of trickles down into criticism towards black women who exhibit her physique or her curves or her attitude in general. They're looked at as angry. They're looked at as non-attractive. And because of that, that can take a toll on their mental health. That can take a toll on their opportunities, their jobs that they can get, because they have these stereotypes associated with them. So even if Serena's cool with it, it's still not cool.
I agree. I totally agree. Because at the end of the day, it's not about just her. I mean, yes, she is the one that they're talking about, but you're right. All the stereotypes that they have on black females, black women in the workplace, just in general, that's not helping by this one man. It's like we all know she's a woman.
Right.
You don't have to put the
she
quotes.
Had a kid. she
exactly.
had a kid.
You don't have to put the quotes. You do not have to put the quotes.
Right. Yeah, so I know I was talking about the domestic violence thing, and actually the video that I've been talking about forever on our Chemistry Productions YouTube channel, that's K3MISTRY on YouTube, I finally put out that Ruining Your Faves video talking about the domestic violence thing. I was super late, but I put it out. But let me run this commercial real quick so that the audiences out there know about our Ruining Your Faves segment on our YouTube channel. You cool with that?
All right, let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Are you a fan of certain trends happening in media today? Do you enjoy popular music, television shows, movies, social networking? Well, in that case, this ad is definitely for you. Chemistry Productions has a segment on its YouTube channel called Ruining Your Faves. There, we look at popular media and we break it down. We look at it on an academic, scholarly level. So if you have a song that you like that's on the Billboard Hot 100, we're going to ruin it. But seriously, definitely check us out, and we're sure to educate and entertain you at the same time. That's K3MISTRY Productions. Check out our YouTube channel.
Alrighty, so yeah, check out our YouTube channel. Check out our latest video talking about domestic violence and how it is highlighted in the movie The Color Purple. We did a flashback video. We talked about a old school movie that was very popular, and I think you'll like it. I touched on relationships in there for those of you trying to look for love, trying to have cuffing season for this winter holiday. But Jay Random, I actually wanted to know from your standpoint. Well, you being random again?
No. I was clearing my throat. I said, what's up?
Okay. I just wanted to know from your standpoint, what solution do you think can happen with the Serena Williams situation? What do you think can be done to finally just stop all the noise? Because it seems like she's getting something every time. Either they're trying to make her wear a different outfit because her body is too revealing, even though you see all these other girls, their skirts be lifting up and you see their whole everything. And then they're testing her all the time. Now they're putting women in quotes. Like, what do you think can finally be done to stop Serena from getting all this scrutiny and all this back talk?
I think she has to stop ignoring it. And what I mean by that is don't bring it up when you're frustrated because it seems like a temper tantrum. She has to bring it to, No, I mean, like I always tell people, is how is your delivery? How you deliver things when you deliver it. So that being said, I personally believe that she can stop ignoring it and just bring it to light. Don't have a press conference. You know what? She can actually make light of it by a commercial or whatever, but somehow she has to bring it to light, and it can't be while she's on the defense. She can't be on, she can't be on the defensive tip, because that's when it's going to be like, oh, look at this sister. Oh, she's lashing out at the media, you know. So it has to be on her terms. She has to she has to control the narrative. Once she controls the narrative and let it be known, then it's out. It's publicly known that I know I've been knowing this, and you guys need to stop. And then let's see how the Me Too movement back her. Let's see.
Right?
Because she is a female. Hey, listen, she is a female, and she is being harassed. She is being harassed. She really is. Because it's not fair and it's not right. The way they treat her. Because they don't. Yeah. So I say, but it's weird because they really don't treat her sister like that. It's really just her.
Because Venus is not a winner anymore. Like, she's not a champion. She used to be, and they used to get on her too.
Yeah, but I never remember them getting on other champions. So I think she has to bring it to light on her own terms, control the narrative, and I think she can overcome this, because I know it has to be tough. I think it has to be tough to be
My
called
thing
a
is,
man.
I've always been looking at her husband sideways, because I'm like, dude, if this was my wife, I'd be going at people every 2 seconds that are trying to say something about my wife. Yeah, whatever, don't give it too much attention. Nah, man, as a man, you have to protect your woman. I don't care what everybody out there says about gender roles and this and that. As a man, you got to protect your wife. Come on, man. You got to hold it down.
No, I agree. Second that. You got to. You have to. I mean, it's only right. You're there to protect her.
That is if you're straight. If you're straight, that is.
I don't
if you're gay. No, I'm saying as a man, you got to hold it down for your wife if you're straight. If you're not straight as a man and you're with a husband, it's kind of different. Or if you're a woman with your wife, it's different. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm going to ignore that and keep it moving, because I don't want you to explain it at all.
No, I'm saying this is territory we obviously don't know, because we're both what?
Let's move on, Jay Stokes. Let's move on. So what's next on the topic?
Speaking of the gay community, I told you I was going to bring this topic up, and we had a discussion about this beforehand, whether or not we should, but I think it is appropriate because it's a good teachable moment. Pretty much, oh shoot, I hit something. Pretty much, Victoria's Secret, their chief marketing officer, Edward Razik, has made the headlines for saying that the lingerie brand's annual runway shows are a fantasy and should not include transgender or plus-size models. So he was that was the quote that was taken about him. But let me read, because I actually went to the Vogue article that they were quoting him from, and I read in more detail. He actually said more than that towards the topic. So let me start with the beginning part where he's talking about plus-size models. So he was asked the question of whether whether he feels Victoria's Secret should address the way the market is shifting, including more plus-size and trans models and stuff. And so Razik said that if you're asking if we've considered putting a transgender model in the show or looking at putting a plus-size model in the show, we have. We invented the plus-size model show in what was our sister division, Lane Bryant. I did not know Lane Bryant was connected with Victoria's Secret. So he said Lane Bryant he said Lane Bryant still sells plus-size lingerie, but it sells a specific range, just like every specialty retailer in the world sells a range of clothing, as we do. We market to who we sell to, and we don't market to the whole world. And then he said, we've attempted to do a television special for plus sizes in 2000. No one had any interest in it and still don't. So when people are saying this quote to him about the plus size models and it not being a fantasy, he addressed that part. So I feel like people are missing that point. So later on, he says, so it's like, why don't you do 50? Why don't you do 60? Why don't you do 24? It's like, why doesn't your show do this? Shouldn't you have transsexuals in the show? No, I don't think we should. Well, why not? Because the show is a fantasy. It's a 42-minute entertainment special. That's what it is. So that's the part where everybody took and they ran with that tag. Now, people, since then, he's apologized for his comments and said he shouldn't have said that, and they've considered, they've casted transgender models before, but nobody made the cut. And by the way, anybody that wants to call in and weigh in on this conversation, the number to call is 646-668-8398. So after reading what I've read regarding that topic, I want to know, Jay Random, what are your thoughts on his comments? Do you think he was out of line? What do you think he could have done differently? Just like your whole opinion on the situation in general.
My whole opinion on the situation, besides me being random,
yes.
was, you know what? No, seriously, to be honest, I know you and I, we had this discussion, right?
Yeah, but you heard what I said in terms of what he actually said regarding plus-size models, right?
As far as, what was it again?
They tried to do a show. They tried to do a show in 2000, and it didn't work with plus-size models, but they do stuff with the Lane Bryant division.
I've never seen any plus-size model on TV. Now, what is considered plus-size models? Because I like women with big butts. Okay, when I say big butts, it can't be like sloppy to like they're falling out. So let's define it. No, I'm just joking. I like a woman with some meat, not
right,
not Jabba the Hutt meat, not body shaming, but just my preference.
Yeah, your preference.
So with that being said, I would definitely
and also you like your woman to be you would like your woman to present herself
healthy
in a manner that seems healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, because the thing is, a lot of people think that you can be overweight and healthy. You can to a certain degree. You can to a certain degree be overweight and healthy, but if you're looking like Jabba the Hutt, chances are you are not healthy.
No, let's be honest. That is so true. If you're 600 pounds, that's not healthy. So I'm not talking about those
that's
women.
Not body shaming. Yeah, that's
no,
not
it's not body shaming.
That's the facts of life.
That's psycho. That's something else. So basically, personally, would I watch a big woman, right? Swimsuit pageant contest, whatever? Yes, I would, as long as they're not wearing like a one piece or a two piece, one piece. What the hell is one piece? A two piece. Like, I've seen women that are big who can wear an outfit that you go, wow, she looks nice in that. Because when you know that you're a certain size, you can't walk around with a two piece showing your stomach if your stomach is hanging over, So with that being said, but so I wouldn't mind seeing it.
That's your preference.
I have a problem.
That's your preference.
Yeah, my preference. I wouldn't mind watching it. Like I said again, long as
it's tasteful. You just want it to be
it's
tasteful.
Tasteful. Thank you. That is that was a perfect word right there. As long as it's tasteful. As long as I'm not eating my food, I'm spitting my milk. I'm like, what is this? What type of blood fire is this?
But on the flip side, you could also say that for thinner models as well. People that are so thin that their bones are showing.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
You're
right. That's disgusting. No, I was gonna say that's like Walking Dead disgusting.
Yeah, so it's like you appreciate a woman's form, but at the end of the day, whether they're bigger in size or smaller in size, you just want them to be healthy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I agree. That's definitely what I'm saying.
Not killing themselves. Not killing themselves for the role. Yeah, not killing themselves for the role.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, my thing is, I think so. We're gonna touch on the transgender in a minute, but I think that in terms of I don't think. My thing is with women of all shapes and sizes. I think that you can find beauty in women of all shapes and sizes. I think that if you're plus size now, Chrissy Teigen is considered plus size. So by the way, And Chrissy Teigen, by my definition, is nowhere near plus size. But I think that if you have a bigger girl, like, say, the one that comes to mind automatically because people would know her more is Ashley Graham. She's a model. She's bigger. And then you have, like, what's the other girl? The other woman, rather.
Oh, yes. I think I know
like,
who you're talking about. She has
black,
dimples?
though. She's black.
I don't know her. Oh, Takara. Takara, right?
Takara.
The plus size. Yeah, Takara.
Yeah, Takara. She used to be with American
Top Model.
Yeah. I think that like Ashley Graham and Takara, like, they're fine. Like, I don't see anything wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them.
Not at all.
Nothing. So
nothing wrong.
if they're wearing swimsuits, it's whatever. Okay. But like you said, if it's a Jabba the Hutt, then it's a problem, because then we're looking at you like, are you healthy? And then if you have Walking Dead, then we're looking at you like, are you healthy?
Somebody get that girl a cheeseburger.
Right. So it definitely goes both ways. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to the clothes. Obviously, the model has to work it. The model has to wear the clothes, but it all comes down to the clothes. How do the clothes fit on you? How are they presenting themselves? And it's fine. It is definitely fine, in my opinion, to have women of all shapes and sizes in these fashion shows. However, I must say that when it comes to the transgender community, we have a different situation, because as difficult as it is to say, though people in the transgender community, whether you are born a woman, born a man, though you may feel like you're a man or feel like a woman, biologically you are not. So that might be a bitter pill to swallow, but biologically you are not a man. Biologically you're not a woman. If you are a man who has transitioned into a woman, that is your prerogative. That is your right to do so. But you do not have ovaries. So even though you are calling yourself a woman, biologically you are not the female sex. And if you are a woman who has transitioned into a man, you do not have testes. So biologically, you are not a male. So testes. Even though you can, testes. So,
hey,
yo, let me press this button, man. I definitely got to press this button. Oh my God.
Listen, those who are listening, this is what happens when you have a doctor on the show. Testes. Okay? Testes. Don't call them nuts. Call them testes. Testes, not balls. Testes. Testes.
So even though you feel like you are a man, biologically you're not a male. So we have this whole thing where people feel like gender is a social construct. They feel like there's no such thing as a gender, da-da-da-da. Bottom line is this. You're either born a male sex or a female sex. That is just nature. Some people are born intersex, and that is a condition where they have both genitalia, and that's something that's a rarity, and it happens, but it's a rarity. But at the end of the day, we only have male and female. So if you transition into a man or transition into a woman, it's your prerogative, but you got to understand that the majority of the world does not necessarily subscribe to that point of view. So with that being said, I do not think that there should be hate crimes on transgenders. I do not think that they should be ostracized and pushed away from society. No. But I want people in the transgender community to understand, and obviously me being a straight cisgender male, it's like I'm talking like, it's like, who are you to say this? But I just want you to know that for the majority of people, they're not going to be comfortable with people who are trans presenting themselves as another gender and putting themselves into a community trying to present themselves as that gender. For example, if you have a role, what's up?
Not to get too deep, but I just feel like what you're saying, it makes sense, but if you look at it in their shoes, it's like, why should I feel why should I have to care about you feeling comfortable? I am who I am.
True.
So with that being
True.
said, I think about it like with anything. Like, hey, listen, I am who I am. Don't judge me. And why should I make you feel comfortable so I can feel uncomfortable? Because in life, I always say, just like, when you and I talk behind the scenes, I don't mind anybody's sexual preference. My only thing is be honest with yourself and don't be in the closet. Be real with yourself. I only have a problem with those who are hiding, because when you're hiding, then you're not being true to yourself.
Right. But that also applies to other people as well. You have to be honest with other people, and you got to realize that, because you're talking about the comfortability, you talked about being comfortable. You got to realize that people who are straight may not be comfortable sleeping with or dating or looking at in a sexual or appealing nature somebody who has transitioned to the other gender, and that's something that you have to accept as well. So when I was saying that,
I agree.
I wasn't trying to say like they should be uncomfortable and they should go in the shadows. No, I was just saying that there's a fine line, because at the end of the day, people who are trans have a right to be trans, but people who are straight and have not transitioned have a right to like what they like, and they shouldn't be called homophobic or transphobic as a result.
I agree. I totally agree, because I definitely see once again, I totally agree, because I prefer women. Now, you can't call me a what the hell, transophobia? What's it called?
Transophobia? That sounds like a country.
Yeah, I made a new word up.
No.
Transphobe? What they call it?
No. Real quick. I got to press the random button for me right quick.
Oh,
because,
man.
Listen, you always mess up on words. I remember one time you were trying to say the wayside. You were trying to say the wayside, and you said the waistline.
Listen,
I was like, what?
You should see the conversations I have with my wife. So, with that being said, I prefer women.
Oh my God.
And I don't think it's right for a person that prefers.
No, people who are biologically born women. People who are biologically born, you got to specify.
What? No. Oh my gosh, if I gotta specify, okay, women biologically.
You have to specify.
What?
I don't want.
I don't want a man. I don't want a woman that had a penis before. I don't want it. Don't want it.
But that's what I'm saying though. When you say I prefer women, but that's the thing. When you say I prefer women,
go somewhere else.
Okay. So
no.
You prefer women.
Yeah. Why should I have to say that?
When you say you prefer women, no, that's the thing. And so that goes back
because they think they
make
women?
You feel comfortable, right? So if a transgender person identifies as a woman, so if you say I like women, they could still say, well, I'm a woman too. So that's why you have to specify and say someone who. Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, you're telling me that while you're on the date, you got to ask women, yo, you look kind of, it's like, how does that come out? Because you're right. It should be the first thing that comes out of that transgender mouth, somewhere in that, if not in that first date, definitely the second date. And before that person who is a straight male who does not know that he's out on a date with transgender, or female, yes, before they become intimate, and I mean even a kiss, it should be known what's what. Because I'm telling you, that is more of a psychological effect on the person that is now confused on, whoa, wait, no, but I don't know. But so that's not fair to the straight male or female either.
That's right. So going back to my thing with hate crimes, I say no one should harm transgender people. No one should ostracize transgender people. But then, incorporating you're keeping things real, transgender individuals should feel comfortable and be honest about having a sex change. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense. Hey, so a topic that we're not talking about tonight that I find to be funny, I'm not sure if you heard it, to get off the transgender, because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Did you hear that Melania had a problem with one of the staffers and wanted the staffer fired? And as of 2 hours ago, President Trump fired that staffer. And she's a national second. Damn, it was national. She's high up too. Oh, she just ain't. She had a problem with her.
Wow. First lady got some power.
Was national security. She was high up. When I say she was high up, she was high up. Basically, what they're trying to say is that they removed her for her duties and moved her to another division. But now he's mad. They're saying, CNN is saying that he's mad because he feels like a husband that was forced by his wife to make a move because she didn't tell him how she wanted that lady gone. She actually aired it out to the news.
Oh, so they didn't have a conversation about it first?
No, not really.
Oh,
so he was kind
okay. I was gonna say.
He was kind of forced to actually.
I was gonna say he should have just conceded to his. I was gonna say he should have just conceded to his wife, but after you said that, I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah, So he's not too happy, but he did it. The lady is now removed, and I bring all this up to say is this administration is so messy. This is like watching one of those reality shows. I can't believe this is actually going on. I can't.
I mean, you got a reality.
I really watch the news.
What do you think? You got a reality star president. What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, just imagine, like, you have the first lady having a problem, and it wasn't even a real problem because the sad part is that I forgot one of the staffers basically said that lady never even met Melania. So I'm like, so what is going on here? You know, it's like it's too much going on, and now it's like every other week, every other month, every other few months, someone's getting fired. Like, can't nobody stay in there for 4 years? So, I just thought that'd be funny, and it wasn't random. I just realized we didn't have that on our topic, and I just wanted to get your view on how do you feel about how messy the White House is now that the First Lady actually has power to get someone fired. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the Trumps in general, the Trumps plural, they seem to do whatever they want, and I sort of respect it to a certain extent because I'm like, listen, shoot, you got people that are in power, they don't know what to do, but it seems like the Trump administration, they have an agenda, and even though it's controversial, and even though it's wrong in many respects, they go about it. So I can't help but shoot. I'm like, hey, they came with an agenda, and they're following the plan.
That they are. They're following that plan regardless of how it looks. Everything that man said, majority of everything, anything racist that man said he was going to do, he actually did.
I think it's horrible. I just respect that they stuck to the plan. Like, I can find in someone who is doing wicked things, I can still find something in there like, hey, maybe the people that are trying to do right can learn from this. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. Also, want to ask you just real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say just quickly because you know how social media has a way, or media in general, the things you say in the past have a way of catching up with you when you make it big. I just want to say regarding anything with transgenders, with race, with police officers, and anything like that, or with the LGBT community, if you are offended, we are just giving you our honest takes. We are humans. We have the right to an opinion. You have a right to your opinion, to be outraged. We apologize if we offended people, but we were just giving our honest, atypical takes on things. We're not afraid to be ourselves and be open, but we're just giving you to the best of our ability, the knowledge that we have and how we feel towards the subject and what we think can be done to remedy those situations. I know we didn't say things about how you can remedy the police shootings, and I got one solution: put cops in jail. because if there's repercussions for them killing black individuals that are doing right, then maybe they'll stop. So cops should go in jail. They cannot be bullies. They are not above the law, even though they are, quote unquote, the law. Still, they're not above the law. We need to have a system where even if you make a mistake, you got to do jail time, and that'll make you think twice before making a mistake. I know the job of a cop is hard, but listen, if you're able to bring in these white mass killers and these white individuals that shoot cops, you can do the same thing for black individuals when they aren't doing anything. Go ahead, Jay Random.
I also wanted to bring up so I know earlier I sent you something on Instagram. I like to get your point of view and ask you for the last 4 minutes of the show. How do you feel about that University of Texas student that got kicked out of her class by the cops because her teacher, who called the cops on her because she had her foot on the back of a chair?
What I believe is there's a culture now of white individuals using the police in order to impose and force their will, and as a result of this, you have a lot of black individuals who feel very ashamed, and they feel disappointed, and they feel like they don't have any more energy, and they end up doing bad as a result of being treated bad. So as a black individual, all I can say, the system that we are in right now, we got to be docile when we interact with white individuals. And what I mean by that is, yes, sir, no, sir. They just keep going about your business, because I'm tired of seeing my brothers and sisters out there dying. I'm tired of it. So we got to do what we can in order to stop dying. And behind the scenes, black individuals, we must be working together as a community to police ourselves, to make sure we are treating each other with kindness and respect. And we need to start running for office with an agenda backed by the black communities. And we need to focus on helping black communities. That doesn't mean you can't help other people, but we need a black agenda. We need to have people in political office that have a black agenda, that are saying, if cops are mistreating black individuals, they're going to jail. If white individuals are calling the cops on black people for just living and breathing, guess what? They need a misdemeanor or a felony themselves for putting somebody's life in danger. So I think that black people just have to kind of chill out, try not to be emotional when things are happening, and develop a strategy in order to bring about a system of justice. I gave you two things: run for political office with a black agenda, and number two, let's start policing ourselves and treating each other with respect.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you to a point. I don't agree with the docile part, because it kind of brings you back to Malcolm X. You know, when he compared Malcolm X to Martin Luther King. I'm not about die by the bullet by all means, but because I feel like if we become docile, then they're gonna keep on doing it. These are bullies. These people are bullies. Because I think if that girl would have put her foot down, then that teacher would have always held it against her. Like, you do something else, I'm gonna call the cops. So because the end result is that teacher got removed from that class. Like so that student, she won. Okay, she may have been embarrassed, but she won at the end, because that teacher is no longer teaching that class. She may get fired. Now the school is going to change all their rules to make sure this never happens again. So,
but you know why that happened? Because the girl was being so docile is the wrong word. She didn't go crazy, and she didn't get emotional. Okay. So I'm saying don't get emotional. That's why it worked, because she didn't get emotional.
Good clarification.
So my bad for docile. That was wrong. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I wanted to focus on. Yes. Never be docile, because that's how they want us to be. But we do not have to be emotional, swearing and cursing and giving a reason.
And crying.
Give a reason.
And crying.
Yeah. Giving a reason for the cops to pull out that gun and shoot us. Because they really don't even. They don't even need a reason. So, Hey, listen, I enjoyed the show today. I'm glad we brought up some stuff, stuff that wasn't actually on the agenda, which is always good. Mm-hmm. The random stuff. So,
yes, sir.
On that note, hey, I know the show's about to end. So, hey, everyone, thanks for listening. We see y'all next week, Wednesday. Jay Stokes.
Yep. K3MISTRY, Chemistry Productions. Peace.
Peace.